Hi, Nick Collier here, and this is my shop. Come join me. We'll have some fun. 2 weeks or more. And we've run in aground here, and let me bring you in closer and I'll kind of explain that. Yesterday we were trying to cut a thread on a pretty good piece of steel yesterday, and it works. In fact, this whole little rotating unit works. I mean, it works well for small, light threads. This is a little bit heavier, but the problem is that once we put any kind of weight on it, this little head won't hold. It's just not strong enough. So decided that maybe it's better to come in with a little bit heavier duty head. And I bought this, I don't know, at a garage sale someplace some years ago. It's been sitting around forever. Yes, it's not complete, but I'll be able to put, and let me go get a piece of tooling. I could actually put something as heavy as this into this piece here and have it work, which gives me a lot more beef, a lot more ability to, of course I have these, but these have limitations, and I'll have to make a bunch of bars to work with it. Oftentimes I just need an inch or two, and so that's what we're going to do. We're going to take this and we're going to get it to fit on top of this, and then cut some tooling, and this would be one piece that we'll use, and it looks like it's just about perfect right now. And we'll have four or five, well, no, exactly 4 pieces sticking out just like this one here, in all different sizes. Okay, let's start by cutting this excess steel off of that plug, and we'll finish that up and be right back. All right, first thing we're going to do is take this thing apart, and you notice that there's a center bolt and nut that goes down through and grabs onto a plate here, and this bolt is missing, so we're going to have to replace that, right? And then what I noticed is when I took this apart, that this bolt going through there is pretty small. Look at that. That's a minor size. So I think what we want to do is bore that out, face this off, and then bring this back in and see where we're at with it. All right, so we're going to put this over there for now, put this over there for now. Let's get rid of this little weak ass thing. Okay, bring our quick change head back into play. Get rid of that. There we go. Put this in our chuck. Start it up and just trim this. may as well drill out that hole. Let's check and see how much room we got out here. I don't know, that's pretty close. So if we put a 1/2 inch bolt in there, we would be in pretty good shape. Let's see what a 1/2 inch will do. Well, that's going to fit with lots of nice slop. Let's go to the bigger size just to see how much room we'll have. And that is what? That's probably 2 jumps in size, so maybe we can find something in between. And we'll come back. Okay, we've got her drilled out to 5/8. We got a 5/8 all thread to fit in there. I'm not sure I'm going to use this, but at least we've got it so that we can test it and make sure it's going to work. So we've got this down. Now we need to bring this into some sort of place where it's going to work. Put that together. Somehow it's not hitting right. Yeah, there's a little bit of trash in there. There we go. All right, and put this on top. And that's going to lock us down. And then, of course, the bolt goes in on top of that. And that's what holds us to the bottom. Of course, the all thread isn't long enough. I have other all thread, but as I said, I might go get a grade 8 bolt that's this long, if I can find one. So, for right now, we've got that set. I need to make a platform to grab onto the compound and drill a hole through the center at the 5/8 hole. So I think that's our next deal to do. So the next thing we'll need is a slider plate that goes under here with a hole drilled through the center, so it's got something to grip onto. And I scrounged around and to find a piece of steel that's just about what I need. It might be just a bit high, but you know, we're going to mill this surface anyhow, so that'll be fine. So basically we're looking for about right there. So we're going to take and cut that piece off on the saw and start working with this piece. Okay, so we've got our block positioned. We've got our cut lines figured out. So basically all we have to do now is bring this thing down and start cutting. And we've got a nice, well, kind of a dull, but usable cutting bit in here, hogging bit. bring it up. Way too fast. That's better. Take it in until it starts to slip. Reverse the speed. Reverse it again. And we're squared up and ready to go inside of that hole. Now we're going to just take it over to the regular vise and set that up in the regular vise. We'll be back. All right, so let's just start cranking her down. All right, so we've got ourselves a clip. I'm going to go over to the grinder and just kind of knock off these edges. Oh, come on over with it. All right, well, the next step is I need the bottom here, it just isn't wide enough to go across here and make me feel comfortable. It's about 1/4 of an inch, and you know, I'd hate to mess it up in any way. So I think what I want to do is put a washer in here, like about that. The problem is that this washer here, which is a standard washer you can buy, is just a bit too thin. This thing's going to warp up on me. So, and also I need to have some adjustment, height adjustment here too. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to take this over and we're going to burn out a piece of, well, 3/16 or something like that in order to make a washer. So let's go over and, all right, let's give that a try. Done deal. All right, we'll let this thing chill out a bit. And then we'll come back in, chuck it up, clean up the outside edge, maybe even put a bit of a taper on it just to kind of give it a little sweetness in design, because of course I am the design guy. So we'll be back. Okay, in the meantime, while we're waiting for that to cool, let's go ahead and start grinding this. I still need to come up with a thread cutting bit that's going to work in that piece. So we're going to grind the shit out of this. First we're going to plug it in. Well, that ain't going to work. Let's see. We need a better approach here. For the moment, we're just going to rough this out. Let's see, we want to go this way. There we go. All right, let's try this again. Okay, we've got all our angles just right. And the reason why I wanted to use the protractor rather than a fishtail was I wanted to be able to square up to this back edge so that whenever I set up, I can just eyeball this to the ways of the lathe or some sort of square surface, and I'll have my angle. So without screwing around trying to get the thing to work. So I think we still need to come in and take off this bottom edge right here. And I'm going to go ahead and do that with the other grinder, which is a little rougher and able to handle this stuff a little better. So we go over to the other grinder. Okay, we have our finished bit, and of course it's a thread cutting bit. And you noticed that I took a little extra time to kind of really smooth it out a bit. And it's probably some of my, anal tendencies, which, okay, I have that. But it's not such a bad thing as a machinist. You know what I mean? The thing that happens to me is if I do a crappy job, you might get the exact angles out here at the point, but then it doesn't look good on the rest of it. I'll pick this thing up for the next 15 years and look at it and go, wow, what a crappy job. So I spent an extra 10 minutes and I came up with something that looks pretty good. Now, of course, I may come back in and have to reduce the back side of this or something like that on this project or another project, but for the moment, it's a good looking tool and it's going to work. One thing I have to do, and that is that this top surface here, yeah, you're supposed to put a rake in that, and I don't like to do that because once you put a rake in it, then you have to grind it down further in order to get it to clean up, and eventually you can't use the bit anymore. Whereas if you leave it flat, or if I leave it flat, then you can always I can sharpen back all the way to the back side of this thing, and it'll be fine. So, and to sharpen, all I have to do is come in with a stone, and in this case, a diamond stone, and just clean up that top line there, and wham, we're sharp again. Of course, you know, if you have to sharpen the point, you have to sharpen the point. So, there's our tool. This is the first one of 4 for this this particular tool holder. And you know, over the next few years, probably I'll end up building 3 more for other projects. But for now, this is the first one, and we'll put that in there, and that's going to sit in beautifully. And we're going to have the ability to go into that hole and cut it more accurately. So, hey, we had a good time here. It took about an hour. So, you know, an hour, 5 minutes for you. So, I'll be back.